What up? How many of us have friends? Hey, it's legendary, and I'm back at it again with another one. You know them. What the fuck? Oh man, not again. You know the moments. Hey, yeah. Hey, just in time. Just in time. What's the most disrespectful shit that a person can give you in life? I'm gonna tell you right now. Jello and hot water pie. Anybody bring hot water pie for Thanksgiving need to be slapped. I'm gonna tell you this now, and you heard it here from me. What the fuck we out here? We gonna eat some water pie for? What? Hey, go stand in the corner. Go tell them to stand in the corner. They give you anything disrespectful. Let's get into it. This shit disrespectful, bro. I kid you not. Like, this is what we really doing? Thanksgiving? You gonna give a person a hot water pie? Hey, comment down below. White people shit or black people shit? Or other?
Beautiful lovelies, it's Emmy. Welcome back to another Hard Times recipe where I explore food and recipes.
Emmy ain't that hard in the world.
Scarcity. Today's recipe comes to me from Marjorie. Marjorie, thank you so much for sharing this recipe.
Marjorie should have been slapped.
Family recipe for water pie.
Water pie.
Marjorie's grandmother made this recipe during the Great Depression, and it's
like no disrespect. There's no disrespect if y'all was out here eating that.
Water. So this
I'm just confused with it. It's not something that we out here eating just because.
Pies that were made when there was not a lot around. You just used what you had in your pantry. And in the same vein is something called vinegar pie, which was a pie that used vinegar as a flavoring agent for the custard of the pie when fruits were not in season. Another example would be Hoosier milk pie, which comes from Indiana. It's also called sugar milk pie, milk sugar pie, which uses milk and sugar to create the custard for the pie. So I want to tackle all of these pie recipes, but today I'm going to start with water pie. First thing we need to do is make our pie crust. Now this is my favorite pie crust recipe because it comes together really quickly. And this recipe was adapted from Pioneer Woman's friend Pam's perfect pie crust recipe. So I'll put the link down below in case you're interested. I like to make it.
I don't know about this. I feel like it's limits to like the stuff that we gonna do in life.
I'm gonna add 1 stick of butter.
I'm just curious. Like, is she out here just really running hot water
then I'm gonna
in this? Like, how is it sticking?
Nice crumbs and all the little pieces of butter are coated with flour.
Okay, bet. I just want to know why they wanted pie this bad that they wanted water.
Do this with a pastry blender or a couple of forks.
Damn, she's struggling.
This shouldn't be so hard to open. But
dead ass, B.
Okay.
Chill out. Chill out.
Like nice and crumbly. And then we're going to add our final 1/4 of a cup of flour. Next,
I feel like
add 1 tablespoon of...
You know what? If it's like the Great Depression pie, why she just didn't buy a store-bought pie? She would have saved money, lived better. Walmart, like, she got to get it together. She over here having us cook. She over here making us make a whole crust for a pie when we could have just brought it from the store. Save time and energy.
Pulse that in. So the next step is I'm going to add some icy cold water, 1/8 of a cup, which works out to be about 1.5 tablespoons of icy cold water.
All right.
Run the machine, and then it'll kind of form a dough. And once it kind of forms a dough there, stop the machine, and then the dough is ready. All right.
Gotta get that dough. Mr. Get dough.
And do this slowly.
Okay.
So it forms a dough. So
I'm dead ass not about to make this.
Sometimes the water collects around the blades.
It's still powdery.
One more. There it goes. You can hear it.
Hell no. Like, who the fuck really want to make this? That shit's pop. It ain't forming nothing.
So
she's lying to us.
And a ball
okay, there it go. It go.
We're done.
There it go. I see it. I see it now. I see it.
Pie crust couldn't be easier. So another thing I like about
it could have been easier if she had just paid for it.
The dough right away. Some pie crust recipes say, "Oh, wrap the dough, put it in the fridge, let it rest before you can roll it out."
Right.
Yeah, This honey doesn't got time for that, so I like the fact that I can work this right away. Instead of using lots of flour to roll out my dough, I like to use some wax paper, or you can even use plastic wrap. 2 pieces of whatever paper you've got, and then place your dough right in the middle.
I just want to know, if times get this hard, are y'all out here making this? It's no hard feelings if you are. I just want to know, like.
Take out the blade.
Of course, because like, what you gonna do with the blade in there?
And this dough is wonderful. It's really supple, soft, easy to work. So Pam's original recipe calls for a combination of butter and lard. But I just use butter for 2 reasons.
Why?
One, I don't usually have lard around.
Yeah, like who the fuck got lard laying around?
All butter crust. Now I've got it in a little disc. I'm going to take another piece of wax paper and place that right on top. And just roll it out. And because this dough has not been refrigerated, it's really soft and easy to work.
Yeah. Work, 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 work.
When I roll crust, I like to roll from the middle outward.
Yeah, of course.
Try to maintain a circle if I can.
Right. I just want to know what made her wake up and say, yeah. I wonder if she gonna eat it.
As you're working it from the center out.
The real question is she gonna use like some real water?
A round shape, which will help you when you're trying to line the pie pan. Okay, that looks pretty good. Alright, so I've got a 9-inch pie dish here, and that looks like it's going to fit.
Look hella big.
Now to get into the pie dish, we just take off the top layer. Invert it, then peel this off.
I just want to know if she's going to put some dead-ass water in this.
Gently, because we don't want to tear it. And then kind of just lift it so it can kind of nestle into the dish.
Because, like, how the fuck you cook water?
It's plenty.
That's all I care about. I just want to know how.
Dough around the edges, do not cut that off. So just roll it and tuck it, and this is going to be
the
edge of our pie.
Cool, cool.
Nice and thick.
Get down to the part where you put water in this.
This is also the pie crust that I used in my mock apple pie recipe. If you haven't seen that, that's another Depression era recipe that uses Ritz crackers to make a mock apple pie. I'm a big fan of big flutes.
We're going to have to watch that then too.
Pleats or crenulations. Crenulations is not the correct word because that's like on a castle. Anyways, I like really deep flutes in my pie. So
why is she over here saying words that she don't know what it means?
Make a little kind of V, and I use, one of my fingers, and I just push in between like that. Go around, push in between.
Oh, put the water in here, bro.
Around, push in between. Now, if you want it to be tighter, just make the gaps smaller. It's really up to you because, again, this is your pie.
Yeah.
Alright, so there's the beautiful pie crust.
But I feel like it's disrespectful if you bring this to somebody's house.
And cold while I prepare the filling. That's a great way when it comes to pies. If you don't want your pie crust to shrink, make sure that the crust is nice and chilled and cold, and then that will reduce the shrinkage. Okay, be right back. So now we're ready to make the filling, and the filling contains 1 cup of butter. Now, it does not specify if it should be melted, if it should be whatever, but it does say to cream the ingredients together, so I imagine the butter should not be cold. So I want to share with you one of my favorite techniques to get butter to room temperature, because I never had the forethought or the preparation to have set out butter an hour in advance so that it becomes room temperature. So, here's my trick. Also, if you try putting it in the microwave, as some of you may know, you end up getting kind of a partly melted, partly cold piece of butter, which doesn't really help you when you're trying to get it to a creamy consistency required for baking, particularly cookies and cakes, etc. So, here's my favorite technique. What you do is you take your cold butter, leave it in its wrapper, get yourself something to bludgeon with. Get yourself some wax paper. This is the leftover wax paper that I used to roll out my pie crust. Put the butter inside, and we need to beat the butter. Ready? Here we go.
Nobody broke her heart.
Get out all your aggressions.
She don't got no aggression. She needs somebody to go fuck her life up. Because if somebody would have hurt her, she would have...
Now you've got butter that's probably about a ½ an inch thick. Let that sit right there. And in about 10 minutes, that will be perfectly creamy.
Perfectly.
Super. 1 cup
what
of
about
sugar,
perfect?
3 eggs. I'm going to go ahead and just beat this up first. This is just the eggs and the sugar. 3 tablespoons of flour. And now my 1 cup of butter. Doink. My other flat piece of butter into the bowl.
That's the water? Where the hell she put the water in it at?
For the namesake of this pie, we're going to add water. 1 cup of boiling water. So remember, there are 3 eggs in here. We don't want to curdle the eggs. We're going to introduce the hot water slowly.
Interesting, I got finesse.
But we're ready to fill our pie now. Pour that into the pie. Looks pretty good, actually.
Still water.
It says to bake this at 350 degrees for an indeterminate amount of time. So I'm just going to keep watching it, maybe 15-20 minutes until the custard sets.
Got you.
Back. Okay, see you in a little bit. Bye.
I want to see her eat it now.
350 degrees. Bingo, bango. Alrighty, my lovelies, I am back, and here is my beautiful water pie.
How long did she let it cool?
Beautifully, although I did have a bit of a crust cave in here and here. The recipe said specifically an unbaked pie shell. I think if I had blind baked this or baked it before I actually filled it, I might not have had this collapse. Still looks great. Took about 45 minutes to cook. The outside began to brown and the inside browned beautifully, and I think that has to do with the amount of butter that's in this pie, and it looks great. So after I took it out of the oven, I allow it to cool on the countertop, and then I put it in my refrigerator to allow it to cool completely.
Because it's
Whenever
water.
you have egg custard base recipes, I think it's always a good idea to allow it to cool completely to get rid of some of that eggy flavor. Otherwise, it's going to taste very, very eggy. I find that's true for pumpkin pies.
Who the fuck eating pumpkin pies?
Eggs in it. Let it cool completely. All right, I can't wait to tuck into
That's disrespectful too. But I feel like I eat a pumpkin pie before I eat some water pie. Ugh, the fuck?
It looks like a custard. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that.
Hell no, bro.
It smells great.
Don't even look done.
Alright,
it's like gelatin jello, bro. She lying. She know it's nasty.
Ooh, that is good.
She a liar. You saw her face? She's a liar.
Really nice and buttery.
Fucking liar, bro. We can't trust her. She spit it. She spit it out.
And supple.
She spit it out.
Texture.
Hell no.
And it tastes a lot like a pudding on the inside in terms of the filling itself.
Yeah.
It's slightly eggy sweet, but not overly so.
She's a liar. We can't trust her, bro.
It reminds me of those tiny egg custards that you can get when you go to Chinatown. If you go to Dim Sum, you can order them. They were my favorite as a kid.
Bro, we done with her and her lying. Bro, there you have it. Bro, if you bring this on Thanksgiving, you gotta go stand in a corner. You can't bring nothing else. No desserts, no nothing. We can't trust you if you out here feeding us some water pies. And until next time.